Good afternoon, folks. Robert Chappell here, Executive Editor of Madison365 with your daily update for Thursday, March 3rd. First thing I'll mention is yesterday at noon, we had a Fox Valley 365 hosted a panel discussion answering a pretty simple question. What is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion? We know what diversity, equity, and inclusion are broadly, but what does that mean as a profession? What does that mean in a company? What does that mean in an organization? And we did that in cooperation with our partners at USA Today Network up there. And it was really, really successful, I think. It was a really interesting conversation with our CEO, Henry Sanders, hosted that with 4 DEI professionals who are really thoughtful and really know what they're talking about. It's on our YouTube channel now. It's on our Fox Valley 365 Facebook page now. I'm going to be writing up a recap of it as well, just to give you a sense of what it was, because it was very, very good. But I would suggest that you give that a look if you want to. Today, let's go through a few news items first, and then we'll hit the COVID numbers, which continue to be very good. So, over in Milwaukee, Magda Fesahe, I think is how you say it, is going to be very soon the new Associate Vice Chancellor for Human Resources at UW Milwaukee. She is currently the Director of Employee Relations at the city of Milwaukee. She will remain in that position until April 11th and take the helm at managing all personnel and human resources functions at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Also today, Angela Vasquez Trudell is Angela Trudell Vasquez. I said that wrong. She's the Poet Laureate for the city of Madison. She just started her second term in that position, and it's been announced now that she will also serve as the Poet in Residence at Madison Public Library. April is National Poetry Month, so she'll be doing a lot with regards to that, especially with youth, which is her sort of focus as Poet Laureate. She's the first Latina woman to hold the position of Poet Laureate, and will be doing a lot with Central Library, so watch for that. Speaking of Central Library, we talked last week about an event that was coming up called Thrival Tools, and that event took place this past weekend, and our reporter, Rosalind May Banting, was there. It was organized by 3 Indigenous people from Madison, and it featured lots of folks of varying different nations talking about the cultural tools that their people have used for centuries to not only survive winters here, in this region and what is now Wisconsin, but to really thrive. And included the Madtown Native Singers drum group that you see here, as well as John Shine Green Deer from the Ho-Chunk Nation, and Biscacone Johnson from the Ojibwe Nation, and some Inuit throat singing and all sorts of fun, cool stuff. And Rodlin was there. We got some great pictures as well. And that story is on Madison365.org right now. And finally, today, on Sunday, March 6th, is the 7th anniversary of the death of Tony Robinson. You see here, he was shot and killed by police officer Matthew Kenny, who is still a Madison police officer, was not charged. That is what many think is the wrong decision. But in any case, there will be a rally, a celebration of Tony's life, as well as that will start at the Wilmar Neighborhood Center on Sunday at 2 p.m. And we have the sort of the rundown of that event up on the site right now at Madison365.org. So with all that taken care of, let's talk a little bit of COVID numbers, where we are headed rapidly toward that magic 3%, right? The test positivity rate. You want the rate of positive tests. So all the tests that you take in a week, you want less than 3% of them to be positive, because that tells you you're doing enough testing and there's a relatively low number of cases. We are now at 3.8. Okay. On January 9th, that was 30%. That was really, really bad. That was the peak. Now we're down to 3.8, which is very good. The 7-day average of new cases, it's all the way down to 560. Last time we were there was like late July of last year, right at the beginning of Delta is when last time we were below 600 per day. That includes 517 new confirmed cases today. Now, we don't want to minimize that, right? That's 517 people who got bad news today. right? It's a lot, but I mean, that was 18,000 not very long ago, right? Maybe the best news of all, 10 new confirmed deaths, or 10 deaths were confirmed today. They happened in the past month. But the 7-day average of reported deaths is down to 9. That's the lowest that's been in a long time. However, 12,057 is our current count of total confirmed deaths, which is more than 10 more than yesterday. There's like 45 more than yesterday, which means that about 30 deaths have been entered into the data that took place over a month ago. Right. So it's looking like it's just taking some time to get those in. So the Omicron surge may not have been as benign as we thought. It's just they're not getting reported in time to get into the 7-day average. So the 7-day average is a tiny bit misleading, perhaps, but still, you don't want it to be more. You still want it to be low. The other piece of good news is hospitalizations continue to fall. We are now below 500 people hospitalized. We're at 474. That's 13 down from yesterday. That's 122 down from a week ago. We also have 83 people in ICU. That's 11 down from yesterday and down 43. That's like a 30% decrease in the past 7 days, which is remarkable. So all of that is very good news on the COVID front. Dane County has been mask-free for 3 days now. Not mask-free, I should say. I was at Costco today, and I bet half the people there were still wearing masks, which is great. If you want to wear a mask, please do. If you're not vaccinated, definitely wear a mask, right? But some places, some organizations, the University of Wisconsin campus still requires masks for until the 11th. But for the most part, there's not much in the way of government mandated mask wearing because of the things being pretty relatively much better condition right now. But we'll see what happens with that. That we might see more cases, we might not. I kind of doubt it. I think we're on the path downward for the time being. I mean, we were same thing happened last year, but about this time last year, things started to go down, right? Until summer, and we got down to well below 1%, well under 100 cases per day, and then we went back up when Delta hit. Right now, this year, about 61% of us are fully vaccinated. 64% of us have gotten at least one shot, which means those other 3% of people are going to be getting their second shot soon. We're well on our way to 70% vaccinated, which means, by fall, we shouldn't have another big surge in the fall. But, we might. We'll have to wait and see, and we'll have to be ready to adjust if that does happen. So that's the news for today. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we'll be back tomorrow with more news for you at Madison365.org. Follow us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to keep up with the latest. And until then, have a wonderful evening. We'll see you soon.
This is 365 Media.